Yes. Who else? Sayyidina Musa. That's very good. Okay. Who else? That's true. And yes, Prophet Sulaiman. But I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about Prophet Ibrahim. So, what do you guys know about Prophet Ibrahim? Alayhi salam? Yes, he built the Kaaba. The first prophet is Sayyidina Adam. Yes, but Prophet Ibrahim is considered the father of the prophets after Adam. All right, you want to say something? Okay. Did somebody else want to say something? No. Anybody in the back? No. You guys can jump in at any point. Okay. Yes. I want everybody's opinions. All right. So, Bismillah. So what do you guys know about? What else do you guys know about Prophet Ibrahim? Alayhi salam. What? Yes, mashallah. What else do you guys know about him? Yes.
His father, he built the idols and he tried. His father was the one who built the idols and he got catapulted into the fire. And then the angels asked him what one last wish, and they said for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with him.
Mashallah. Yes. So did anybody hear what he just said? All right. Who can repeat what he just said? Hamakallah. Yes. So, all right. For anyone who didn't hear that, so Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, from young age, and we'll get into that. From young age, he did not believe in any of the idols that his people believed in. Guys, whoever's making noises, please stop. So Prophet Ibrahim, guys. So that's a very good guys. No, that's a very good question. So by the standard of Islam itself, he was considered Muslim, but no, it wasn't sent down as a prophecy. It wasn't sent down as revelation yet. At that time, the concept of Islam has always been to believe in one God and submit yourself, right? So he did that from a very young age. He started as a child. He was asking very deep questions. Imagine somebody at 5, 6 years old asking, "What is the meaning of life? Is there a God?" And bear in mind, everybody around him is worshiping idols. So you wouldn't think he'd know any better, but he was a very wise child. He was very intelligent. And by the way, so we're going to go into 5 lessons that you can learn from the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. But one of the first things is he started, and he was 13 or 14 years old. It's like when he had the courage to go up against his own people. Again, he would ask these questions. He demonstrated an inquisitiveness, intelligence, curiosity as a teenager. Like the people around him just blindly followed these idols. They blindly worshiped things besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were constantly fed up with him, because as a child he would tell them, "Why are you worshiping these idols?" He was making common sense. Imagine something that somebody builds that doesn't do anything, doesn't say anything, doesn't see anything, it can't do anything, and yet the people insisted on worshiping it. And this was the entire town. So one of the things that you take away from Ibrahim alayhi salam is that he was all alone. It's argued that he was the only Muslim in the world at that time. Can you, Hamza? Not you, Hamza. Can you listen? Pay attention. What? Can you tell me? Actually, yeah, Hamza, I want you to sit over there. That's fine. I want you to sit over there. One of you sits over there. Okay. No, you're not going to go after him, or you can sit with me, or you can stay there. Okay. So, one of the major takeaways from the story of Ibrahim is that you guys, whether you know it or not, you are all, yes, I'm talking to you, and you, and you, and you. I'm talking to every single person here, and anybody who, I hope the live stream is working. Every single one of you is intelligent, inquisitive, and curious. If you let yourself, Shah, if you let yourself be that. And here I'll explain. So Prophet Ibrahim, what did I just say? What was the unique thing? He was the only in the world. In the world. Because think about this. So there was no concept of Islam yet. Whatever had been there was centuries old or whatever, however many years old, thousands of years before. At that time that he was alive, in whatever small town, yes, but no, there was no other Muslim lands in the world. Yes, exactly. Yes, you're right. You were right. So at that time, he was literally considered the only Muslim in the world. And even then, he wasn't a prophet yet. So he was the only Muslim in the world. And yet, he willingly took on the challenges of his time. So that's a lesson for all of us, myself included, obviously. Everybody, anybody here, the lesson you learn is you might be alone at times. You might be the only Muslim in your school. You might be the only Muslim when you guys try to go to college, at work, wherever. You might be the only you might be the only Muslim guys. You guys might be the only Muslim, and you may not see anyone else around you who's a Muslim. But the biggest thing you can take away is it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who's around you. The biggest thing to take away. The biggest thing to take away. Assalamu alaikum. The biggest thing to take away is it doesn't matter what's around you. Don't worry about, guys, I want everybody to pay attention, please. It does not matter who's around you. It does not matter what's going on around you. You pay attention to what's going on with you. Here's an example. If you see somebody and they're, I don't know, they're doing something, yeah, they're saying a bad word. Are you going to go, oh, because they're doing it, I'm going to do it too? I'll give you a better example. Sure. No, wait, no. I think a better example, when you guys play basketball, who likes basketball? Wait. Okay. Who? So, all right. So everybody here likes basketball, right? How do you play basketball?
Shoot.
Oh, then what happens if you shoot? So now, let me ask you a question. If you make it, and I say that's great, he scored. Would that make sense? If I say that after you score, and then I say like, oh, that's great, he scored, that wouldn't make sense, right? No, exactly. So my point being, when I say that, my point being is just be so like. All right, what's your question?
So if somebody didn't say, if somebody says a good word and the other one say a bad word to him.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. When you say something, so guys, the other reason, guys, can everybody please pay attention? I don't like when people are talking.
I'm sorry.
So the biggest thing, I'm gonna ask you guys questions at the end. If you can answer them, I'll give Pokemon cards. Okay. What? I'm gonna find out. But one other. No. All right. So guys, did you guys think about this? When you go to, like, let's say you're in school, even when you're in a playground, wherever you go, you may not realize it. And I mentioned like everybody has the capacity to showcase like the intelligence they have, the curiosity, the inquisitiveness. When you go outside, you represent Islam. Like you are a representative of Islam. Just like any kid who's a Christian represents Christianity in some way, whether they realize it. You represent Islam. And you have the opportunity every single day, every single minute, every moment, whether it's like outside or even around your family, you have the opportunity to make some sort of change. Like if you just by being a Muslim, just by making some meaningful effort to be a better person, a better Muslim, whatever you can do, just by default of that, you have the potential to make some sort of difference. And you are more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you start from as young as possible. So you could be 5, you could be 7, you could be 3, whatever your age is. Just you trying even a little bit makes a huge difference to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether you realize it or not. And also when you make the effort from now, as you get older, it gets easier. Because think about it, if you have a habit of studying, let's say for exams from a young age, it gets easier and easier, and then let's say you go to college, you either you go to work or you either like study more, it gets easier and easier. So it's the same thing. It's like going to the gym or it's like playing basketball. The more you play basketball, the better you get, right? Same with football. No? What? I think so. I hope so. All right. So the major takeaways we had. What are the main lessons we've taken so far? Yes. Hmm? Okay. And what are the lessons we've gotten from him so far? Yes. Yes. And then what's the opposite of that? Yes.
Be a leader
Okay. How?
by like being nice.
Okay. Good answers. Go ahead.
And if somebody says a good word, they say a bad word.
What? It was the opposite.
So, all right. Here's another thing. When you, I don't know if you guys knew this, but when you do something good, and somebody else like does something good because of you, you get hasanat. Not just that, you get like you guys know what sadaqah jariyah is? It's like what stays with you, or the rewards you get after you, like one day, like in the future, when you're not, like when you're no longer, when you pass away. Like so there are three forms of sadaqah jariyah. One is somebody praying for you, like a righteous. So when you have kids one day and they pray and they make dua for you, that's one form of sadaqah jariyah. The other is, Assalamu alaikum. The other is when you actually donate and let's say you create something. Let's say you donate enough money and then it goes towards a building and people benefit from that building. You get a piece of that ajr. So let's say you donate towards a masjid, you get a piece of that ajr. You get ajr for every person that prays in that masjid for forever. Yes. That's the thing. Your intention is what matters. Like, so if somebody does something bad, you don't get that. That's a different story. That's a good question, but it's a little different. So it's like if you donate towards, it's not really, you're not donating, you're not helping them, if that makes sense. Like if you see them doing something bad, those are two different things. You should maybe go and try to do something, but if it's not, or go away. But if you mean, like, depends on what you mean. Okay, so the other point I wanted to make is Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had the courage to stand up and reject the falsehood of his nation. So everybody around him, what did we say? What were they doing? They didn't believe him. They were worshiping idols. They didn't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he, as a teenager, was the only Muslim in the world, right? In the world. So the biggest thing we take away from that is what? As a Muslim, when you try to be sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you not only show him that that your religion matters, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala matters to you, because that's the most important thing. You develop your own unique sense as a Muslim and a human being. So when I'm talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam, what is he doing in essence as a teenager? Yes.
Giving advice to the kids.
And what is that word? What's the word for that? Starts with a D. If you know, if whoever knows that, I'll give him a Pokemon card. See, he said giving advice to people, but there's a word that I'm looking for that starts with D. And if you know it, I'll give you a Pokemon card.
Could you repeat the question?
So there you go.
Bro, really?
Yes, Dawa. Yes. But- What? Guys,
Oh, the NBA card.
take one, just one. All right. Good job. All right. Can everybody pay attention, please? Dia, can you move up, please? Guys, Dia, I want you to move up, please. I want you to move up in the front. So, you have the power to inspire yourself and those around you. You have the power to give da'wah from now. And even if it's as little as just through your actions itself. It's okay. Yes. So, again, Ibrahim had the courage to stand up to his people. Now, what did he do next? After, like, do you guys know the story of what he did when all his people were gone? Go ahead. Yes, yes. And
Because he told them after that if you want to see who did it, ask your idol.
now, did they know that, like, what did they know that he broke the idols? Yes, they knew that. They knew he broke the idols. Yeah, that's a good question. What like if they really believed in their gods, why wouldn't they believe him? Oh, the biggest god just destroyed all the other gods. But they knew, and they had heard him before. The other part of this is they'd heard him before saying, "Oh, don't believe." So he kind of gave himself away. But the biggest lesson from this, the only thing that kept Ibrahim strong is his iman. He had very powerful iman. Just think about it. Imagine you are going up against your entire community. Can you imagine that? Like tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. Imagine around you, and they are all against you. Because that's what ended up happening. After they saw that he destroyed the idols, what was their thought? Their thought was, we either have to get him to return to this religion, or we're going to kill him. Which is, yes, subhanallah. But he had an immense strength of iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So another lesson you could take from this is the next time you feel isolated, the next time you feel alone, or you feel peer pressure, or you lack courage, always think of Ibrahim alayhi salam. When you worry people are going to make fun of you, when you worry that your friends are going to invite you to do something wrong, you always remember there were teenagers before you. And I can mention some names from the Sahabi. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. I'll give you guys a few names. Let's see if you can remember them after, okay? So, let me see. Zayd ibn Thabit. Who does anyone know Zayd ibn Thabit? Yes. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now, does anybody know how old he was when he memorized the Quran? Yes. MashaAllah, yes.
I can actually get
We'll come back to it. All right. Does anybody know Az-Zubair ibn Awam?
I remember this name.
Wait, can you repeat the question, please?
Az-Zubair ibn Awam. So he was Sahabi. He was the first Muslim to. He didn't at the moment like use his sword, but say that again. He was one of the first. Yes, you're right. He was one of the first Muslims. He was so there was an incident in the time of the Prophet ﷺ where he thought somebody had attacked the Prophet. Huh? What I took one so far. So he took out his sword. He was ready to fight. So he was technically the first person to wield his sword for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was among the 6 people that were in the running to be one of the Khalifas. So, and bear in mind, he was 15 years old. Now, when he was nominated to be Khalifa, he was maybe in his 20s. But think about that. That is an amazing thing. And someone in their, he was 15 years old when he, huh? Assalamu alaikum. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. The last name I'll give you guys is Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. He was 17 when he converted. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. Okay.
That's not fair. I'll type it in.
Not for real. Take down your
I'll give you guys, all right, 3 names, and then at the end, so we've got like 10, 12 minutes, and then we're going to, Maghrib is in like,
8 minutes.
all right, so the 3 names, Az-Zubair ibn Awam, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Az-Zubair ibn Awam, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and Zayd ibn Thabit.
Wait, can you repeat it one more time, please?
Last time. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Zayd ibn Thabit, Zayd ibn Thabit, and Az-Zubair ibn Awam. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on, guys. Zubair ibn Awam. Okay. Now, now who knows the story after? After Ibrahim alayhi salam destroyed the idols and his people said you're going to kill him, what did they do? Okay.
They put him in the fire.
Yes? Can you... Okay, what did they do first? Uh-huh.
What's the third name?
I'll tell you after. Don't worry.
Tell me, come on.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Mhm.
and then they got away from it, and then everybody was coming from different types of cities just because it's like the biggest fire in the world.
And wait,
So they put him on a catapult,
Mhm.
and they flew him into the sky,
Mhm.
and then an angel came and he said, "Would you want anything? Like, do you want Allah to give you
What's your
anything?"
last wish?
And he said, "Yeah, your last wish."
Okay.
And
Now,
he said, "No, finish."
okay.
finish.
So then he
So,
said,
wait.
"I only
Let him
wish
finish,
for
let him
Allah to
finish.
be proud of me. No, please, with me." And then he
Mashallah.
fell down and he didn't feel it.
Now let me ask you this question, guys. Let me ask. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Ibrahim alayhi salam knew that the miracle was coming? So what does that tell you? When you imagine that scene, go ahead. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Yes, ahsanti, yes. He put his faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because imagine that as well. That's another, like just to emphasize the idea that you have strength at this age. Imagine he was 13, 14 years old, and his people, can everybody please listen up? After Zubair. Yes. So the lesson to get is, you guys at this age, imagine that he was 13, 14 years old. Imagine somebody saying they're going to throw you in the fire unless you convert. And he insisted and he said no. And so that is when, after he was ready to die for his religion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him from the fire. Whatever you sacrifice, whatever you give for the sake of Allah, any bit of effort, nobody else is going to see it. Your parents are not going to see it. Your friends may not even see it. Look, nobody might see it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees that. Every prayer, every time you call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And guys, so that's another thing. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had such trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was making dua. And he didn't have some idea. Like you guys have learned some idea of how to make dua, right? You guys have learned, like, how do you make dua? Say that again? Okay, he did, yes, but yes. No, he did not face Allah. So the other lesson is we have to stand by our principles. And the point of that is, when you stand by your principles once and then you make that a habit, it becomes easier and easier and easier. It becomes easier to be your own person. That's how you become a leader in your life. That's how you, not only that, it's how you feel better about yourself as a human being. And that causes you to do more for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that can be, guys, that can be, that can be in the form of your salawat, that can be in the form of memorizing Quran, learning knowledge for the sake of Allah, Islamic knowledge. It can also come in the form of your studies. It can come in the form of even sports. You can devote anything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can use anything as far as da'wah. So again, stand by your principles. Tawakkul, you mentioned it, trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever you are, always know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares for you. Whatever is going on in your life, whatever you like, whatever you don't like, always know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what He's doing. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, think of it this way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the 7 heavens and the earth. He created billions of people before us. He will create, only He knows, He'll create billions of people after us. He knows what goes on with the darkest of ants on the darkest of nights, just to give you guys an idea. So always know that He cares for you, and always be willing to make dua. Always make as much dua as you can. Ask for anything. That's what I'll leave with. So, like, 2 more things. Whenever you make dua, wherever you are, whatever you're doing in your life, even if it's as simple as, like, Ya Allah, I want this, like, video game, or I want this, I want to go to this school. I want to go to this school. Ask for it, but ask for it in the context that it will get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try to ask for things that will help you. Oh Allah, help me to have money so that I can spend it in your sake. Oh Allah, help me to do this thing so that I can get closer to you. Always try to have that thought in the back of your mind. And always, one other thing, whatever happens to you, this is a very important point. I want everybody to listen. Whatever happens to you, every single thing that happens to you, yes, Allah knows, when you have that trust in Him, you trust that it is always going to be better for you in the long run. Because what happened to Ibrahim alayhi salam? He could have, if he would wanted to. Okay, I see your, yes, I appreciate what you're trying to say. Yeah, what you're saying. Yes, he trusted in Allah, but here's my point. Couldn't he have said, "Oh, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this to happen? Like, why would he allow me to be thrown in a fire?" Couldn't he have said that?
Yeah.
But he had full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He trusted Allah knew what was best for him. And so what ended up happening? He left his people, he left, and he became Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was given the revelation. So that is a lesson for us that whatever's happening in our life, whatever struggles we go through, and everybody will struggle, everybody will make mistakes. Whatever you go through, it's always going to be for your own good. And the important lesson is as well, Ibrahim alayhi salam, if you guys noticed, what is he doing throughout all this? He broke the statues. He was talking to his people. Is he just sitting there doing nothing, hoping that his situation will get better? He did something. He did it.
I swear I'm not.
He did everything he could. He did everything he could to improve his situation. He did everything he could to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the final thing I'm going to point out, do you guys know the hadith about the 7 people will enter the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay, who are the, okay, what is one of them? Just tell me one of them. Yes. Okay. All right. So what else? Yes. Say that again. Yes. That's a very, guys. There is a very powerful significance to that point. So one of the, yes. Yes. Good job. So there is a very large significance in the idea of a youth that is strong in their faith, strong in their deen. And youth can be as young as 13, 14, up to like 30, 35. It varies. But the youth who is strong or powerful in their deen has the power to change the world. We talk about all these. Ibrahim alayhi salam was 13 or 14, and he made a significant change and impact in around the people around him. Even though nobody followed him, he set the path to become a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We hear about all the Sahabi who were 13, 14, 15. You have leaders of the armies, the Muslim armies at 16 or 17. You have, I'll give you guys an example. Umar bin al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu, his son, Abdullah bin Umar, was 16, and he was battling in the army. And he wanted to go in when he was 14, when he was 12, 15 or 16, it varies. The point is, you always ask yourself, what can I do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What can I do? It could be volunteering, it can be whatever, like even your hobbies. Guys, stop. Even your hobbies, whether it could be writing, it could be exercising, whatever it is, always ask yourself how you can be more productive for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You guys know the people of the cave. But conversely, the other thing, whenever something is mentioned in the Quran, always know that it has a lot of significance. So people of the cave, Ashab al-Kahf, are mentioned. The other people who are mentioned on the other side are the people of Saleh. So the people of Saleh, you guys know the story of Prophet Saleh? And the camel. So the camel was killed by teenagers. I don't know if you guys knew that. So they were misguided. They had the wrong friends, the wrong crowd, whatever. That's a warning for us. You choose your company with your friends and with wisdom and intelligence. You choose who you surround, guys. You choose who you surround yourself with. Yes. So I said. Yes. Can anyone hear? All right, guys. I'm gonna repeat this. I want you guys to memorize it. Al mar'u ala dini khalileh. Al mar'u ala dini khalileh.
Can I say something?
Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, wait. Before we conclude, so what are the lessons we take away from this? Hold on, guys. You're not gonna get it like that, first of all. But we're gonna conclude in that. All right. Yes. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر بارك الله فيك.